continue update on each class a little bit on the foundation, because those are very important for everyone to have a solid foundation and with all the stroke. When I ask everyone to put together a whole character to combine that, so that's make your character look good, the calligraphy look good. Today, I want to talk, after I review all the homework, I know that everyone have a challenge as follows. Two single character combined in one character is a challenge because you don't know how to make it balanced from left to right. Or if we have a bulky or very complicated character on the left, and how can you manage the one in the right, so only one stroke? And how do we have all the space, even though I did mention a little bit in the past, but when you put together in reality, how to practice is tough. So I have few recommendations, as I mentioned, and sent to email or WhatsApp to everyone. You don't have to rush, hold a brush with the ink to practice for two reasons. You will waste a lot of paper and ink, and also affect your mentally. You say, I feel so disappointed. You don't have the interest in doing it. So what my recommendation is, you can get a piece of blank paper. You can use a pen or pencil. Write it on it. I give you an example. I don't use ink. You can practice on a piece of paper with a pen or marker. Just say, hey, I go like this way. The moon. When you do it like that, by a pen or pencil, you will say, I don't like it. Then you say, why it's not good? And you look at Peter's sample. Oh, Peter did not do it this way. Peter do it a bit more heavy on the top, a bit more curvy, and then like this. And then the head also a bit bigger, and they also have a waist tight in the middle. Then you use a pencil or pen or marker on a piece of paper, do whatever you like. Because Chinese calligraphy is just like you building up your apartment, your car. You don't like it this way, or doing a fashion design. You say, hey, I put a skirt on this. It's too long or too short. You can adjust yourself until you look at it, say, oh, I look harmony. Or you go it this way. So you tell me which one you think is better until you certify by hand and paper. Sometimes I practice when I'm watching TV. Suddenly my brain has come up some character. I just use my finger. My mom said, oh, you writing again? I said, yes, mom. And I do it on my leg, whatever. When you into it. That way keep you mentally, and you have everything subconsciously built inside your mind, your brain. Why? Because when you really go to practice, your brain control your hand. But if you don't prepare that way, for example, I don't know anyone doing any singing or performance or have to do a seminar talk in front of people. Before you go to talk or sing or perform, what you need to do at home, you practice, you prepare. Say, I need to wear this, I need to dress nice, I need to comb my hair, and I need to look at the mirror to see how I perform, present. Doing calligraphy, the same idea. You have to prepare yourself. Why? When you have all that, you have a positive thinking. We call PMA, positive mental attitude. Apply to that too. And you build yourself confidence. A lot of people, they don't feel confident to stand up to people to talk because they don't know what they talk. People will laugh at them. The same thing, if you don't prepare yourself, when you write on it, it will not look good. So when you do that, then you ask yourself, hey, this one is only small space, this one too much space. Then you say, I better adjust it. Adjust it this way, but you're still not doing good. You do good in here. But what about here? Like why open the leg? Then you keep change the structure until you like it, you're happy. You say, look similar to Peter. Okay, now I do my actual practice. So what you do, you get a piece of paper, newspaper, go to supermarket, get a lot of newspaper. I have a lot of newspaper in my workshop. My workshop look very hoarding. And then you use a lot of water, just a little bit of ink. Why? Because if you do it wrong, next time you put a bit more ink, you can do on the same track. Then you will see the difference. Like for example, I have all this mark. I don't like it, I put a little bit ink on it. And then after many time of practice, then you will say, hey, I can do it better now. This is a good one, then I'm going to use this one. Now I start seeing the mark. No, I still no good. I try another one. That's how you do it. You have to think. Always think. Always try to make, if in the beginning, if you don't know how to use your brain to picture the vertical line, you can make a line like that. Then you do it. For example, I do the 10. Right? So you have the center line, then you know how much space you need to leave here to make it balanced. No trick to me, either you're learning dancing, painting, or calligraphy or anything. There's not really a lot of trick. The trick is, if you pay attention, you think, you know where it's wrong. Very important. If you know where it's wrong, then you can improve. If you write something like this, and then you say, oh, this is good, and move on to another one, then you have problem because you don't even know it's wrong. If you know, if I have a good trick also, this is something that lead you. After you finish writing, you just say, hey, I want to make sure that I'm doing right. Take my sample, look at that. What's the difference? Then you follow. That's how you do it, okay? Now, talking about the combination now. So, we have no problem about this, right? Now, the biggest challenge is this one. I found that I just looked at all the homework, and it seems like many of you have problem because you, on the left-hand side, is very bulky and complicated. But the right-hand side is a little bit simple, just one stroke. Right? This one. Many of you write this one, the right side. However, the vertical stroke, you put it on here. Too close. So if you put this one as a center line, now, this side, the bulb, in Chinese, this is the bulb. The center line is here, right? Then you have the same similar space. Then the center line should be here. Then you put it here, then you're perfect. You see, you got me? Understand? You see, I do, after many years of practice, I don't have to do the measure. But when I finish doing it, I do the center line here. You will see immediately, here's how it make it balance. But if you move this stroke too close here, it's not going to look good. Or you move it here, it's not going to look good. It's so funny. That's how we call balance. Okay? Another one, like the knot. The same left-hand side. I'm not going to fancy on this one. I just want to show. Now on this side, it's just a small mouth character. The center line. and here is the center line, and here the center line. You see? Okay, harmony. And also make sure this small mouth need to sit in the middle of the left hand side. You are not going to move this one. I saw one of you have this one up here. No, up here, up here. It's no good. It should be just in the center. That's how to make a difference. So you have to practice and tell yourself, before I look at a piece of blank paper, how can I see the center line? In your mind. For example, I'm going to write, I have two lines here. But this blank paper have no line. In my brain, I have to vision. This is half. The center line is here. The center line is here. So when you write, then you will follow the center line in your mind. However, if you cannot picture it, I know when I beginning to practice Chinese calligraphy, I have a problem. I cannot look at the blank paper to vision the line. What can I do? Folding the paper. Using this one. If I'm going to write two lines in here, so what I will do, I will fold it in half. First of all, that means I give myself one line on each side. Am I right? Then you know that you're going to write. However, we have to remember, when you write something like that, you have to leave some space for put your signature, your autograph. If you're going to give it to someone, you need to put the name of the person. So you also have to vision, hey, that means I have to leave some space over here. Then you fold another one. Depend on how many space you want. I'm going to go with detail in different class. I'm not going to talk about the detail here, but I just help you, give you some hints. When you do at home the practice, you know where to find the center line. So all this little space here is for you later on to put your name on the bottom, and the person who you're going to give or write to someone, put it here. Then on each side now, you have a narrow space for the two lines. So now you have to vision the center line. So again, if you cannot vision, you fold another one to make a center line for yourself. And this is not a secret. All the calligraphy artists, including myself, will do that in the beginning. Now you have a center line, and you can do it. Does that make sense? Okay? So now, you say, Peter, single character, I can do it, but if two characters combine, then you don't want to put too many single lines, otherwise you confuse. Then you have to try to picture yourself. All right? Now, I'm talking some challenge from the practice, your homework. Now I have to put more ink so everyone can see it. Now let's talk about the moon first. This one, the left side apostrophe, the lengthy one, stroke or the kicking stroke, this one, okay? And many of you are confused with this one and the hook. Let me write the hook first. The hook is similar. Go from bottom up and press down. Go straight. This one is go straight down. Go straight down, 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 almost to the bottom, then you turn. You press down and you turn. You turn. Now, turn and then lift. This is a hook. Okay? And this one is different. This one is the apostrophe. Go down this way, they also play this, but this one, I make it different on the bottom here, so you will see. You see, the angle, this one straight and curve. This one have a curvy on the waist. Don't confuse. And this one is what? This word. You don't have to do this, you can do this, but as long as you have the hook is on this side. Straight down and go this way. But this moon is different. You come down, you curve it on the way, you up, go out, and then you go this way. And see that the head is slightly bigger, wider, and come to the waist a little bit curvy. Then you leave the same area and same space. Now I'm so exaggerate on this one. Actually, it should not be so curvy, okay? So that's the difference. Very clear, understand? Now, another challenge is the turning corner. The turning corner, I found that it's a challenge because many of you cannot do it right. The turning corner is like this. You start the same technique. Go from right to left, and press down. When you move from left to right, when you move, you leave a brush a little bit. Now come to the turning corner. You press down. You see, I press down. When you press down, you can lift up and then turn. Now, when you press down this way, you turn and make the corner round. The inside corner round. You don't have to do anything. All you need to do, move from left to right. When you move, you slightly lift the brush a little bit because you want people to see it over here a bit heavy. Come to the turning corner, you press down. Press down hard, lift up, turn. Okay? And I want, after I explain, I want everyone come up here to do it again, to practice in front of everyone, and then go back, then I will watch everyone to do it. Practice in the class. I want to make sure when you go home, you can practice. Another one is the hook from the bottom. This is the hook from the top. The hook from the bottom is like this. From bottom up, press down, and then move down. When you move, always lift up a little bit. Come to the bottom, press down, and then lift up. Then come down, you're turning your brush direction. You need to remember, when you move down here, you press down, you have to lift up the brush, go up and down again, and press and turning the direction of the brush. You see, when I turn, immediately I get the corner rounded. No trick. All you need to remember, move down, press down hard, lift up, come back down again. Now, when you come back down, you're turning the direction of the brush. And then you move. And then up, 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 up. It's already round. Now, the basic stroke the horizontal stroke, the silken head, and the ducktail. The silken head, start from the top, move the angle from top to left, diagonal bottom, and then when you press down, you press upward. You don't press downward. You press down, and then you lift, press upward. Okay, upward, and then lift up the brush, turn the corner, the direction of the brush, and until you feel comfortable. You move from left to right, and then move, lift up the brush a little bit, and make it curvy. After passing the center, slowly press down hard, lift up the brush, and turn, and also twist your brush. And then reverse a little bit. Okay? Let's do it one more time. Any other stroke that you found challenge? Oh, one more, I remember now. Let's do the horizontal stroke first. Start top diagonal to the bottom left, and then lift up and press upward. Press upward, and then lift up the brush and turning the direction of the brush, and move from the left to the right. While you are moving, you lift up the brush a little bit, not too much, and then make it curve a little bit, curving downward. Now after you passing the center, and then you have to start it, eventually press down more. And then when you think that this is the good lengthy in the center, and you lift, and you're twisting your brush when you lift up. Twist your brush, and then reverse a little bit. Okay? Now, some of the character that you want it a bit lengthy because they have so many stacked together. But most of the leisure, they are more on a very, can I say narrow or widen. Either rectangle, square, but very seldom, unless, like I said, if you're born at 6 feet tall, I have no way to change. So that's something like that. Okay. Stand up, upright, rectangular. Otherwise, most of them are like this. Square or horizontal rectangular. So some of the character that I prefer a bit more horizontal rectangular, like this one. I give a sample to everyone a bit lengthy, but I want to change. I want everyone to follow a bit more horizontal rectangular better than lengthy one. Now, I want you to see the trick of this one is the same thing, the center line. So the character people in the middle make a bit lengthy up, so they will spread open like this way. Look better than you go this way, right? Unless we're wearing a wedding gown that have a long tail. Bruce asked me a very good question. Say, what's the difference? Are they different? I say no, they are the same. This is another way or another style of the dot, and also this is a dot. And we can use something like this as a dot, but you have to know in what position. We also have a short vertical dot without any curvy, but just straight. Okay, so those are the one that different. Now I'm going to this one I'm going to make a different dot so everyone will see. See, always sit straight. This is the first dot. The second dot. See, I always go up, down, turning the brush, press down, and then curve. This is another dot. And the vertical straight up, press down, and move back up, round up. And also horizontal one like this. This is also a dot. Press down. From right to left, press, round up a little bit. I always try to make the right hand side a bit thicker than the left hand side one, but not too much. See, press down, up, lift up, move. When I move, I lift my brush a little bit, press down, I twist, I twist, I twist, I twist, come back. Easy, right? You're laughing. Now, another one. This is another dot. Press down, lift up. From right to left. I always, my horizontal stroke always have a little bit dome, because I like that way. It look more art. Press up, lift up, the move. Press down and move and twist and move and twist. Come back up. Now you can see I start from the top down, from left to right, finish the last horizon. So this is the same thing. Now when you write something like that, they have 4 different parts. One dot, and the head, and the body, and the skirt, and the leg. So you have to use your momentum calibrate, try to fit everything within the center, within the square. If you make everything so big like that, then you will overwhelm. So what I will do is I make everything a bit more pressed down, compressed. So the dot will be upper and the top, and also more skinny. Okay, up. See, from top to bottom, and from left to right. And the second horizon should be a bit wider than the top one. Come down. This got to be in the center, same space. See, I press down, I lift up, I press down, So I can make the inside very round, right? The same thing here. Press up and I lift up. I move my brush until I feel comfortable. Twist, twist, up, press, very stable hand. That's it. Different dot. Now, don't too lengthy, got to be compressed, otherwise you will not have enough space. Down, up, press up, and then lift. Have a little bit curve. Sometimes here I make a little bit thicker. Press down, move and twist from bottom up. Press down, turning direction, up. Now this one you can make it like this. So if you don't happy with the curve, you can reverse to cover that. But don't do it second, third time like that to correct it. It's no good. Now, this two dot is very important. If you make this one too wide or too close, it look good. Got, you see, top, left, they're all very even. So do the same thing to the right dot. You have to make simple, similar. Otherwise, it's not look balanced. Now, one thing here I want to mention. This character here, this one is not the dot. It's short stroke, okay? If you make it a dot, it totally no work. Because this one in Chinese, that's for Bruce, it means indication, the meaning of this character. So the indication, you cannot use the dot. You can use this one, you can use this one. But you cannot use the short vertical dot, or you cannot use the curvy dot. No way. It's wrong. Because there's no character, no meaning on that. You see, I try always using the center line. You see, when you have the center line, the horizontal line, the cross, can make you to see the difference on this side, the difference on this side, to make the balance. Up. Now, we have to remember this size of the character, this is a combination of two single character into one character form another meaning. This one in English explanation means wish. I wish you this, I wish you that. So this one, this character on the left is the same meaning and the same character of this one. When you're writing this indication in a single word, single character, you write it this way. But if you go this one here, you do it this way. But remember, when you do this one, this indication on the left hand side, that's the difference. The difference, if you do it this way, for wish, okay, it's fine. But there is another one over here. Actually, is the clothing. The clothing that last time everyone did it. Remember this one? So we have another word, looks similar like this, but actually it's clothing. Don't mix up. Now, when you do the clothing, for example, beginning or very initially, when you do something like that, you do it this way. Okay? Or you can do it this way. Or you can do it many ways. I'm going to explain to you why. Like this. Sorry, that is the back one. Sorry. You can do it this way. However, this one, you cannot do it this way. People will confuse. So you need to make sure the clothing on the left hand side, you have so many ways of doing it. But you cannot using the indication to using like the clothing side. That's the important one that everyone to know. Now, next class I will talk about this. Now remember, the center line is here. So because I don't want to occupy so much of space of the entire square, I don't start from here. Like I said, you will try to only use up to 60, maximum 70% of the whole square. Instead of occupy the whole square, you have to leave some space. Now this one got to be pressed down, upward and turn. Okay, now remember this and this one is the same. Don't do it like I said over here. You don't do it this way because it will look like the clothing. You don't do it this way. Don't do a dot like that. Okay, try only do this. Okay, all done.